Okay, welcome everyone to Pro Trade Room Plus and the FOMC Minutes. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All right, so 2 o'clock are the minutes. Now, with the Fed minutes, let's look at the DMM. So this is another report that it's really debatable if we have a setup that's even moving the market. This report has not been moving the market, but I do think that today it's going to. I think there's pressure on the Fed. I think there is attention on the Fed, and I think it's going to probably move the market. Now, we create what we call a spike sheet. We look at a bunch of months on the report and we note what happened. So October no move, August no fill. July no move, May no move. April was tariff month. It moved crazy. That was an anomaly. February 15 ticks, January 28 ticks. No move July, no move October. I mean, this is a report that hasn't been working for more than a year. So, how do you take the regular trap trade without appearing somewhat crazy? It's a little bit crazy. What might make more sense and would certainly be more reasonable risk would be to take the ES trade as a high of day, low of day magnet. That would make the most sense. It's probably going to get to the low of the day. I think these markets are not done selling off. That's what I think. It doesn't mean I'm right. I just think. Looking at the NQ, you also have a nice high of day, low of day setup available. Could we get to the VWAP on both the ES and the NQ? Yeah, it's possible. It's definitely possible. And then looking at another chart that might be interesting, gold, GC 1225. Now, gold was up $50 this morning, and it's only up 12 now. It made a new low also, and then it did a lot of selling off starting after we left the gold room. Gold, everything seems to be in the middle of highs and lows. It's like the market's waiting for my real life to begin, as Colin Hay would say. Waiting for my real life to begin. One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Colin Hay, if you ever want to hear a great song. It looks like the markets are waiting for some comments from the Fed, and then the market might move. So, look, does it make any sense whatsoever to take a trap trade here? You got more, 6 months of one anomaly winner, tariff April. Total anomaly. just complete. And I don't know how we even figured out to move the ticks to 60 and 80. I don't think we're going to get 60 and 80 ticks of movement today. I don't think it's going to be that big. But if it does move, I think it's 18 and 27 on our tiers could be small. Could be small. I just don't think you can justify taking the trap trade. So I think I'm not going to take it. I'm going to trade high of day, low of day on the ES. Right click the chart. Click on strategy. Let's put our reverse continue on the chart first. Click news trader. Reverse continue. Put one ES on there. Do a 40 target. A 30 tick stop. And we're going to label that ES reverse continue. And I'm going to keep working on that account that I damaged this morning to see if we can get it back some money on it. We made 75 bucks on the bond trade, and that was a fluke. That was just luck. So we have a reversal continuation set up. Apply it and okay it. Turn it on. And then the magnet. High of day, low of day. Proximity is 3 to start. And I think I'll do 2 positions. I think if we get to that, 2 contracts. And a 30 tick stop. And I'll label it ES magnet. ES magnet. Trade it in that same account, number 20. And then when we put the magnet on, so I want a little bit more. If we buy, I think I want to buy a little bit over 6,700. So we'll buy above 6,700 and we're going to sell when we get close to the high of the day. And then on the low of the day, we'll buy below 66.20. Okay. That's my magnet on the ES. Yeah, the trade has mostly canceled. I think today it's going to move. I think today it's going to move. And then gold, I think there's more of a chance the MNQ moves better this time of day, or the NQ. Just like the ES, it's in the middle. It is up, but it's in the middle of, it's a little closer to the low than the high. Going to do the same thing. High of day, low of day magnet. I think I'd rather do it on the NQ. First things first, set up a reverse continue on this chart. Double click News Trader, breakout turns to reverse continue, and we'll do a target of 40 and a stop of 40, and that's our reverse continue. And I'm going to do that in a different account. I don't want to try to trade too many contracts in one, full-size contracts in one prop account. So we'll do the NQ in 23, and that's going to be called NQ reverse continue. Apply it and OK it. So that trade is ready. We'll put it on 23. This one is on 20. 23 on the NQ. And then we have our magnet, high of day, low of day. Right click the chart, click strategy. Double click magnet, high of day, low of day. High of day, low of day, proximity is 3. I'll trade a couple of contracts. A 40 stop. 30 stop. We did it in account 23, and we're going to label it NQ magnet. Apply it, turn it on, okay it, and we'll set our orders up. If it gets down below 24,500, we'll enter on the downside. If it goes above 24,950, we'll go in on the long side. All right. But when you look at the way this report's been behaving, it's been terrible. The October jobs report has been canceled. November will come out too late for the Fed. October jobs report has been canceled. So that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow's report. I think they're afraid of the data. It's going to be crappy because all the layoffs that we're seeing tremendous amounts of layoffs. Oh well. That's too bad, isn't it? It's going to be hard to figure out what the perfect setup is for that trade because it's been now 2 months and the report hasn't come out. It's not a normal situation anymore for that report, right? However, I still think we'll get fairly normal movement on that report regardless of when it comes out. That's my gut feeling. We'll never know the truth about why it's being canceled. Never. You'll never know the truth. Certainly, I don't think anyone would have been expecting great data. That much we know. I think they want to just shove it to the Fed, if you know what I mean. It's like the next Fed announcement will be before the next jobs report. So this way they can blame the Fed for anything the Fed does that they don't like at the next Fed meeting. No data. I don't think the Fed is going to cut. See, I think the Fed will not cut. Now, that's what I think. I think if they try to push the Fed's going to say, take a hike. The Fed doesn't take any crap. They're not afraid. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know the truth. I don't know. I'm not in government. It feels like these markets are going to make new lows, doesn't it? That's how it feels to me. I don't trade on my feelings. I'm in a state of shock. I'm so happy that they reinstated that account. That was very nice of them. If anybody's wondering out there, we had a issue with frozen orders yesterday morning, and our funded account got blown up when we just tried to put on a one contract scalp trade, and they didn't even make me jump through hoops. I couldn't come up with the orders anymore because they were not in my platform. They were gone. They pretty much took my word for it, which they should. I have no reason to lie about it. I sent them a video. But it's always nice when someone does what you think is the right thing. After this, we'll be back at 3:30. Let's double check. Might be 3:40. 3:40. 3:40. We'll be back. I don't think so, Calvin. I'm no influencer. That's funny. All right, so we're just watching the markets. There's a part of me that's so tempted just to do the trap trade. I could trade the trap trade on a different account. I'm just dying to see if it works. It's been 6 sessions where it really hasn't worked properly for 6 sessions. I don't count the anomaly session when we had the tariffs announced. That doesn't count. That was a crazy volatile day, not a normal trading day. Excuse me, I'm tired. It's only Wednesday. So the market's just been moving around between the VWAP and the PP. The news everyone's waiting for is Nvidia. That's what the markets are waiting for. Nvidia's earnings. That's very possible. Phil, how come you're not in the trade room? What are you doing on YouTube? So back to the VWAP. So when we get closer to the news, I'll press the auto button. In fact, I'll turn it on now so I don't forget. I don't think we'll get to the high. It's too far away on the NQ. Could get to the low. Be a pretty big sell-off if it happens. I don't think we're going to fill either trade. I think they're just a little too far away. Let's set up a test trade of the trap. Let's do that. Let me set up an extra chart. I should have an extra random chart lying around. There's one. Let's make this chart the ES. Now it's got no indicators on it. Let me see if I have a better chart available. I should have one more. This is more normal. Okay, let's put the ES on this chart. ES 1225. And we have a trap trade. All right, so we've got a trap trade here. Trap trade. Now, the setup, I'm going to actually trade it because I've lost my mind, but I'm going to make the tiers. I'm just trying to think, do I want to trade it as is? Do I want to trade it as is, or do I want to make the tiers bigger? So just looking at the last four candles, it's been 22 ticks of movement in the last 4 minutes. And from the PP to where we are now is 80 ticks. I think you either gotta trade it with big tiers or you don't trade it. So what I'm going to do, trade the trap, the trigger is 13.59, 55. The stop is 20. Tier 1 is 40 and tier 2 is 60. I think we just don't know what to do on this, and the risk, it's such an unknown. I don't think I want to take the risk. So I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to trade it as our setup has it. I think it's too small. So I'm going to do 18 and 27, and I'm just going to sim it. I just don't think it's an intelligent trade to trade when I really don't know what the proper amount of tiers should be. I just don't. You don't always know. This because there's no testing. There's no testing in the traditional sense. So we're just going to watch it and see what would have happened. We'll do a I woulda, shoulda, coulda if it's fantastic. So it's position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. We're putting the orders on at 13, 59, 55, 20 tick stop, and the tiers. We'll make it 18 and 30. That makes sense. 18 and 30, I'll trade it in my sim account, trap, yes. And I'm not going to pay much attention to it initially because we have these other trades. I don't think these other trades are going to fill. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. So we've got about a minute. I don't think we'll get an explosion in price. I don't think that's the kind of move we're going to get. Okay, we can see our orders. I think we're just not going to get any movement. So there's a little bit of movement in the trap. There's a little bit of movement in the trap. So the trap filled filled the tier, filled the second tier. Now, if it keeps going down, the trap won't work. But if it chops, first order target I'll put above the VWAP. If it chops, then there will be a chance of it working. So there's a little bit of profit there. You can, if the reversal takes place a little stronger and the price starts going up, you cancel the outer tier and move your stop to safety. So now, whatever happens, you can't lose. Okay? Whatever happens, you can't lose. You got you two targets. Make them a little bigger in case it starts going in your favor. Okay? And it would have been a small, not a bad, not a terrible profit. Would have been $150 possible. All right. So interesting. Now you can see we're just way too far away from this market doing anything. It's just way too far away. So now I've left two trades on the table today, the oil report and this one. Two trades left on the table, which is a shame. Which is a shame. It was it was okay as a trap. I thought there was a possibility it could move much, much more. All right, folks, I don't think there's any point. We're not going to get, even if it's not going to get to the high or the low in a couple of minutes. And I don't think there's a press conference. No, there's not. There's not. No press conference. All right, everybody. Thanks on YouTube for watching. If you want to hit the like button before you go, we'd really appreciate it. And thank you.